and welcome to Lunchtime Movie Critics. I'm Wayne.
I'm Nancy.
And the point of this show really is, to share movies with each other and all of you. And sometimes they're not amazing movies.
No, they're pretty terrible.
Yeah, hopefully. We like that. So the first movie that we've chosen to talk about is a movie called Six String Samurai.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, samurais, post-apocalyptic future.
And Russians.
And Russians.
Russians are involved.
There's a few Mexicans too.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because that's what a dystopian future looks like.
And Las Vegas gets its name changed to Lost Vegas.
Right. And Elvis is king.
Correct.
Or was. He was king.
And Slash is trying to take over the world.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that was the impression that I got. Anyway, let's start at the beginning of the movie.
So, my favorite, one of my favorite lines from this movie was in the first 5 minutes of the movie, where the main character, who doesn't have a name, I don't think.
No,
nobody's
we never got a name from him.
Nobody's ever named in the movie. So I don't know what we'll call him. We'll call him Buddy. Let's call him Buddy.
Yeah, because he looks just like Buddy Holly.
Right. Which I think lots of people do in this in this dystopian future. But
right.
So basically, I mean, the premise of the movie. I guess we should start there, right? So the premise of the movie is that the bomb was dropped and the U.S. is pretty much destroyed, all but destroyed, and Las Vegas becomes the new capital, but they call it Lost Vegas, and right?
That's never explained either.
It's not. They just say Las Vegas. Yeah, they're on
copyright reasons, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Is that copyrighted name? Just kidding.
Nah. So, right after that all happened, 50, 60 years ago, Elvis became king because, he's the king. Right, yeah. So, seems like a loose premise there. But, anyway, at this point, I think you get the idea that either he has died or
is going to die.
His heir has died or he's going to die. I'm not
sure.
Something,
it's not clear. It's a lot of loose ends in this movie. If you go to watch it, just go in with that mindset of you're not going to really understand everything right off, and it's not all going to tie in. But
there's a lot to talk about.
Elvis is going to die, or is dead, or something. We need a new king.
It's the kind of movie that you're definitely going to watch and then discuss.
Yes.
In detail.
With
on
someone, a podcast.
A good friend. Significant other in the middle of the night. Why was that?
Oh, goodness. Mark and I had a lot of conversations about this movie. I made my husband watch this movie with me so that I would have somebody to talk to, other than you, Wayne. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. There's no way I'm getting Erica to watch any of these with me, I'm sure. So, Easton watched part of it with me, though. Anyway, this great line right in the beginning, first 5 minutes of the movie, he runs into this little boy who is an orphan, I guess.
And also, he has issues.
Who? Buddy?
That kid.
Oh, the kid, yeah.
No, the kid.
Yeah.
He watches his mother die in the first couple minutes of the movie. He is right there when she passes away, picks up her arm and then drops it and doesn't shed a tear.
He's fine.
If I lost my mom, I would be a mess.
He's probably seen a lot up to this point, though, already.
The kid is how
old would you say he is?
I'm going to guess he's 8 to 10 years old in this. But he doesn't cry until he skins his knee.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, the kid's got some issues.
Yeah.
So let's just start with that. The kid's got some issues, watches his mother die, doesn't cry.
Well, I have to say, this line that I was going to talk about seems weird that it would affect... that it would have any effect on a kid who's 8 to 10 years old.
Right.
So basically Buddy is trying to get this kid to leave him alone, and he makes this comment where he says, "I had to summon the spinach monster with my rock and roll magic." And I mean, the kid still hangs out. He just follows him. He just starts following him.
He's not afraid
he
of
saves
no
him, right?
spinach monster. I couldn't say that correctly. He's not afraid of anything.
He has to deal with
barbarians.
Russians.
Just killed his ma.
Barbarians. Oh, that's right. There's barbarians.
There's barbarians in the beginning, and they throw gumballs. They launch gumballs, and that is their defense mechanism.
Hundreds of
gumballs.
Yeah, I have a note in here actually at 19 minutes. Gumballs?
Yeah, gumballs.
That's all I said.
That is, there's no guns.
Uh-huh.
There are samurai swords and gumballs.
And guitars.
Yeah. Right, yes. Oh, and that guitar. So he's rocking this really cool guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am not a musician much, and so I don't know what it is.
It's just like it's like
a hollow body Fender or something.
Yeah, it's like a 60s rockabilly kind of Buddy Holly kind of guitar. Yeah.
Right, Buddy Holly kind of guitar, and that thing is literally indestructible.
Well, it's got a sword in it. I mean,
duct taped to it. The sheath is duct taped to the actual guitar, and it never breaks. No. Jimi Hendrix couldn't break that on stage. I'm almost certain.
Could light it on fire.
No, the thing never breaks. So you told us about this movie, Wayne. So you're the one that chose this movie, and so I'm going into it not knowing anything.
Yeah.
And after watching the movie, my husband and I decided to sum up the movie. It is essentially rock and roll versus metal, or Buddy Holly versus Guns N' Roses.
Because there's also death in the movie.
Because death in the movie looks exactly like Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Pretty much, yeah.
Top hat, hair, the whole 9 yards.
Could have been played by Slash.
Probably was. Uncredited. Anyway, so that's my sum up of what this movie is. But in the midst of it all, there's some bowlers that die. So
there are all these kind of gangs,
right?
So the Russian punk band is a gang.
Yes,
they're a real band too.
And
the Red Elvises.
Okay, I have to say the Red Elvises totally rocked the whole movie. The music was the best part of this movie.
I probably wouldn't have picked this movie if it didn't have great music. I'm just kidding.
Man. I think you picked this movie because it's a bad movie.
Yeah, but it seemed mainstream enough. You go into it thinking, oh, this might be. Well, no, it's not.
Okay, it's on YouTube. So if you go onto YouTube and you look up Six String Samurai, you can find it. And I read through the comments after I watched it.
Yeah,
it is essentially a cult classic. You think of The Goonies as a cult classic. You think of these other movies that people just love. I had never thought of this as a cult classic movie.
It's obviously not a big one. I mean,
no,
not big enough for people to have heard of.
This underground cult classic, I guess. So yeah, sure. There's a very small cult involved in this one.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. It is not.
It is not. It is not at all. It's a very interesting movie though.
Yeah. So you mentioned the bowlers.
Yes.
And it's funny how quickly things happen in this movie because
you go from barbarians to bowlers.
Yeah. So
very quickly.
At 5 minutes in, he's talking about the spinach monster.
Right.
At 8 minutes in, you see the bowlers.
Yes.
So this movie happened
and the fight scenes
very quickly.
This fight scene is probably my favorite. The bowlers just kind of fall.
So my favorite, I think it's my favorite line of the entire movie when the bowlers come in and say, Buddy says, bowling night isn't till Tuesday. And then and then one of the bowlers says, nice tuxedo to die in.
Have you ever just said that as a threat to somebody?
Be like, nice Hawaiian shirt. Nice Hawaiian shirt to die in.
That'd be so
I have
funny.
Not, but yeah.
You should.
That's a great line.
That's a great line.
They pull knives out of these bowling pins that they're carrying around with them.
Yes, they carry the bowling pins, which I found odd because, when you see bowlers, you see them carrying their shoes and their bowling balls. You don't see them carrying
bowling pins. Yeah, that's not a common.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you throw those.
No, the bowling ball would hurt. That would crush your skull. 15 pounds of bowling ball hit you over.
Should be enough.
Right.
No, let's have knives hidden in bowling pins as well.
But there's a lot of knife fights in this. I mean, it is a samurai movie.
Sure. Yeah.
So, you know.
There's no guns.
There's no guns.
Children, or parents, well, children too. You don't have to be worried about violence.
Blood in this movie that I remember.
Nope.
It's not super gory.
Right.
It's just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. This is, for an action movie with swords and knives,
yeah.
It's like the extreme opposite of A Clockwork Orange. There's no ultra violence.
Yes.
It's like ultra clean.
It is.
Yeah.
And the language is fairly clean. I didn't notice a ton.
Yeah. I can't think of
the weirdest people
anything.
were that family.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have notes on that?
I do.
What are your notes on that?
So basically,
I'm just
the barbarians follow them. There's
Yes.
some who says "You're it." Somebody says that, but I don't remember.
That was another random little boy.
Oh,
He
that's
was
right.
like
He had a weird
13
voice,
and he had this super weird voice.
Yeah, you're it.
and then he dies and suddenly disappears. Okay, so
Right.
if they die by death, like the figure
Die by death. Oh, right. Okay.
the figure death.
Death by death.
Thanks, right? So if they are killed by death, excuse me,
Right. Okay.
the figure, then they just disappear.
Yeah.
But if they are, killed by
Mortal man. Yeah.
mortal man, they don't
Yeah.
disappear. So,
They just.
but
yeah.
then that little boy
So that's weird.
reappeared at one point,
Did he? I don't remember that.
didn't he?
I don't know.
With death.
Was he with death?
I believe he was with death, and he.
So it's like the White Walkers, maybe.
Yeah,
If he kills you, then you're part of his group.
apparently.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Are we reading too much into this stupid movie?
Maybe. There's whole
but the
college
wind-
classes
the
on
wind
this, though.
people-
Not this movie specifically.
The
but
wind people.
Yeah, so I do have a note on that. So they come across this family that
Super
they're looking
disturbing.
for a socket wrench.
Yes.
Or a socket. He just says a socket.
Right.
But I think he means a wrench. And so they come across this family that invite them in for dinner. I'll use that term loosely, invite, because they're insane.
They want to kill him
I'm assuming they want to
and
eat them.
Yeah. They're
yeah.
cannibalistic.
Yeah.
And showing signs of cannibalism.
Right. And I think Buddy's going to leave the kid with them.
That was the initial
Yeah. Like, this is
impression that I
your
got was
new
like,
adopted family.
yeah, you're gonna go live with these guys,
You'll
and
be
they're
safe
gonna
here.
eat you.
Until the windmill people show up.
Right, and then
So-
the windmill people show up.
I didn't understand the windmill people.
I still don't. Please enlighten me.
I don't understand.
Okay.
So I don't know. If anybody knows, email us.
Please. What's
So-
our email address?
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
We have a website. It's
Yes.
lunchtimemoviecritics.com.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a thing on there. You can email us if you have any insight
Right.
into the windmill people. I was going to say also you can buy this movie on Amazon.
If you want to
DVD.
actually pay
If you
for
wanna
it.
pay money
or you can
for the
watch it
movie.
for free on youtube.com.
Yeah, which then you'll want to buy it because it's amazing and you'll want to have it in your library.
I did
Yeah.
not buy it. I'm sorry.
I didn't either, but it's okay. So the windmill people. So these guys in hazmat suits with like homemade proton pack looking things on their backs, or like walking around outside very slowly, like zombie, like they're walking on the moon, and they've got these backpacks, and they're like, were they like vacuums?
But their hazmat suits have holes in them.
Wow.
That's the other thing, because post-apocalyptic, I guess you can't
Yeah.
keep out all the germs. I don't know.
It's hard to find real hazmat suits
that are still intact.
I mean, have you ever seen a dystopian future movie that had real hazmat suits? Just kidding. You probably never seen one that had hazmat suits.
I'm trying to think. Hunger Games? Do they have hazmat suits? No.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking it's like they look like what my astronaut costume would have looked like if I had made one when I was 10.
As my son likes to call astronauts, space or not.
Space or not. I like
Space
it.
or not. 4-year-old verbiage there.
Yeah, so we don't understand them at all. But what we do know is Buddy takes off. The insane family takes off with the kid. And then their car breaks down because they don't have a socket.
Right. Because that's all you need to fix a car.
Yeah. Oh, because that's why they were looking for a socket, right? Because they needed that to fix the car that the kid had hotwired.
Maybe?
I think so.
Yes.
Because they were driving that car when the gumballs were thrown at them.
Right. Because they were driving a car. He had hotwired it, which, for an 8-year-old, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah. So would you believe that all of this that we've talked about so far is only 27 minutes into the movie?
Well, we better get going.
I know,
Lunch
right?
It's going to be over here.
Okay, so really quick, he throws a sword overhand.
Yes.
And kills someone. That's
Which
amazing.
I thought was pretty cool.
Oh,
that scene was pretty sweet.
They don't seem that aerodynamic that they would, fly like a dart.
Yeah. I would think tumbling, wobbling would be involved.
I mean, you don't throw a throwing knife overhand, but whatever. Okay. That's my inconsistency with the movie. There's
a lot of inconsistencies, but we can't touch them all.
So Buddy throws himself on the ground to make the kid stop crying.
Yeah, the kid apparently is really into Three Stooges style bodily harm type humor. The kid skins his knee and cries for the first time.
Right.
However, he does, the only noise you hear him make up till now is this annoying annoying whine. Which as a parent, you've heard.
Sure.
So let's watch a movie with it in it.
Right. Sounds great. Let's get away from that by watching a movie that has it.
Yes.
Yeah. He flops around on the ground, throws himself on the ground hard because the kid laughs.
Thinks
at
it's
it.
funny and stops crying.
Yeah, so that's a weird
Again,
thing.
the kid has got some issues.
But does he start talking after that? Is that when he starts talking, or is it later?
There's a point where the child begins talking, and doesn't Buddy look at him and go, "It speaks."
Yeah. I probably have a note in here somewhere about it, but I couldn't remember if that's when it happened. Okay, so another great line. Mm-hmm. So there are, he sees a sign that there's somebody selling toilet water.
Yum.
Yeah, and so he goes to find these people to, I think, find the toilet water. I'm not really sure.
Right.
But there is a Mexican who is also a little person. I hope I'm not being offensive to anyone, but he is. And to add to the, whatever you want to call it there, he makes the comment, "Follow the yellow brick road, homie."
Yes. That, and the way he said it was really hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the yellow brick road, homie. And, another gang involved in this part. Yeah,
they just look like South Central, with the do-rags and the flannels buttoned up in the desert. In
the heat of post-apocalyptic United States.
Which they're obviously in Nevada, because, you're getting to Las Vegas.
Right.
You've got to already be in Nevada if you're walking.
Yes,
right?
Yes. And it takes them only an hour and a half to get there. So,
Right. Yeah, I think you only see like one or two night times or something in the in the whole movie. So they must not have been that far away.
No, but this bar scene while he's looking for the toilet water is pretty hilarious to me, and I think it was Mark's favorite scene as well.
Oh, so the Latin kid.
When the Latin kid kind of confronts Buddy like, "Oh, you think you can be king? You think you can beat me?" Mm-hmm. And
so is the Latin kid the one who says, "Do you know who I am?" Or is it Buddy that says it? He says it, right?
Yeah.
"Do you know who I am?" And Buddy just says, "Nope."
Yes. That classic. It's just nope.
Yeah, so I had kind of a note here that seemed to be a pivotal moment in the movie.
Yes.
It was after that. So he has this whole conversation with the Latin kid. Mm-hmm. So the Latin kid's got these two women hanging on him.
Right.
And he seems to be popular. And then there's this whole thing where he picks a fight with Buddy. Yep. Buddy kind of calls him out and it's like, "You're nobody." And then, he says something like, "And get yourself a real guitar." Because he's got this little flamenco guitar or something. Yeah. Okay. So, so a few minutes after that, Latin guy like chases him because the women drop him because he's a loser now.
Right. Because Buddy pointed out all of his flaws.
Right. So he like chases them through the desert.
And, over the dunes.
Yeah. And he calls him out. He questions if he can be king. The kid hands him the sword and tells him he can still be a good king. Well, it's Buddy.
Right.
Buddy. Because so Buddy kills the Latin kid.
Yeah.
We just ruined the whole movie for you. Anyway, Buddy kills the Latin kid.
I think we'll ruin the entire movie.
Yeah. It's worth watching even if you know everything about it.
Spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No warning.
Yeah, it's all we should have said that at the beginning. But yeah, so he has this questioning, this moment where he questions like, can I really be like this and still be a good king, And,
right.
And the kid, reassures him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can still be a good king.
Yeah, it's all good.
Keep the kid along to encourage you, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Build you up a little.
So I don't remember, this is like 12 minutes after that, but I don't remember who says it. There's a line where I think it's Buddy who says, if you were me, you'd be good looking.
Did Buddy say that?
I feel like it was Buddy, but I'm not, I forgot now.
You forgot?
Yeah. So
should have made that note.
I should have. Who said it? Who says,
said
if you were me, you'd be good looking.
That's a good line, though.
And then the person says, that's not nice. This is how clean this movie is. Yeah.
That's their insults that they throw around.
That's not nice. Yeah. So a few minutes later, there's this crossroads thing that goes on. Crossroads, like my reference there is the movie Crossroads. The whole devil went down to Georgia, a riff off with the devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like the music fan in me really liked this part as like they're actually playing music. Because up until this point, there was very little music played by Buddy. And obviously the kid didn't play any music. It's just the soundtrack done by the Red Elvises.
Yeah.
And so like that's the music that's being played. So I like this part, that interaction of that, the metal music from the devil versus the great rock and roll of Buddy.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It's a great this is actually a cool scene.
Yeah, no, I love this. I mean, I think I love that kind of thing in every movie. Like, have you ever seen Crossroads?
No, I have not, actually.
Okay.
But
we'll talk later.
I'm sure we'll talk about this later.
But there's a similar kind of thing that goes on.
Right.
Where it's, in that case, like battling for, his soul kind of thing.
Yeah.
And here, I mean, it's very similar because it's like whoever loses
wins?
Is giving up on being king,
I guess.
You don't really get that because death doesn't die.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like we've said, this is a very confusing movie in a lot of aspects, and there's a lot of loose ends. So you're not entirely sure who wins or loses.
So I kind of feel like the whole point of the battle, they never really say, is like, if I win, you give up. If you win, I'll give up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're both going to try to be king.
Right.
Death.
You really want death as your king, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be awful. I vote Buddy Holly 2020.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. If those are my choices.
Buddy Holly. Oh, it's not really Buddy Holly. We just call him Buddy Holly.
I don't even think it's supposed to be Buddy Holly.
No, but my goodness, he looks like Buddy Holly.
With taped glasses.
It's the glasses.
Yeah.
It's all about the glasses.
Well, the glasses and
the
tux.
Suits.
Yeah.
And a
rockabilly guitar.
Rockabilly guitar. So
and the sword. I mean,
there's all kinds of references to Buddy Holly here.
Absolutely.
The sword, I don't think is...
No?
No.
No, you don't remember that? The Big Bopper, Buddy Holly, samurai sword?
Yeah. No.
You don't remember that? Okay.
No.
All right. I might be wrong. I might be remembering that wrong.
The sarcasm is thick with this one.
Well, it should be. It's a movie worthy of sarcasm. So there is, we're nearing the end of the movie at this point, and there is, I don't know, who's shooting the arrows?
Those are Death's buddies.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like his pals, his gang.
And I'll say shooting, I'll use that term very loosely.
Right. They are like, just Yeah, they're just terrible.
It's like if you were
It's more
throwing,
like throwing
arrows in front of a camera. So it shows them pulling back the bow, and then you see the arrow in front of the camera.
I'm pretty sure they just underhand tossed it.
Yeah.
And
Probably
their aim's pretty terrible.
Stormtrooper aim,
for sure.
Yeah.
They just kind of like fall loosely to the ground, but they do end up hitting Buddy.
Right.
And that's when it takes an unfortunate toll. You're kind of rooting for Buddy this whole time. Well, you start to root for him. Like, you're starting to like go, yeah, he should be the king. He can still be, as the kid says, you can still be a good king.
He's kind of a jerk, but...
Oh, he's an absolute jerk.
But he's been helping the kid even though he didn't want to.
Right. He's kind of this kid's adopted father, I guess, now.
Sure.
Because where else is this kid gonna go?
He's had fostering forced upon him.
Yes, he has.
So then the arrows and he gets hit.
Yep.
And then there's a slow-mo sword fight.
Yes. I have to say one thing about all of the fights in this movie.
Yeah.
They get better. So if you start this movie and you go, this fight scene is absolutely terrible, keep watching. They do get a little better. I mean, they're not like A-list movie.
Sure, it's almost like they
fights.
filmed the movie chronologically.
I think they did.
Like so many movies, big movies are not filmed that way. They'll just film scenes here and there to bring down costs and stuff. But this, I think, was just
Well, because I think there was only one location in this movie.
Well, yeah.
It was some guy's 30 acres in the desert.
Right.
I think they just borrowed a friend's property to make this. I could be wrong.
So it's like, all right, what's up next? Bring in the Mexican little guy. Yeah.
No, it's the Russian. Oh, the Russians make like a 2-minute showing
at the beginning. You're talking at the beginning?
No, towards the end.
Oh.
I did make a note in my notes. I can't remember the timestamp, but yeah, it's towards the end of the movie, and my note was, finally, the Russians show up.
Right.
And this was right before the riff-off between Death and Buddy, and the Russians showed up right outside of Vegas, I guess, and Buddy kills them all.
He's meant to be king.
Yeah, he is.
He's the chosen one.
Until, spoiler,
yeah,
Death gets to him.
Well, but then I have a note at the very end here that says, what is this, the Wizard of Oz? Because Death is defeated with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense.
It didn't make sense. No. And the kid, is carrying on Buddy's goal, I guess. And at the very end, you see the kid in his tattered old tux with the guitar on his back, trying to get to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So.
And you feel like he's going to do it.
You think he's going to do it.
I mean, I don't know what that ends up being, if there's a battle.
Or if you want a 10-year-old king.
Well, I mean, it worked for Tibet.
How old was King Tut?
Oh, he was young too.
He was young too.
Yeah, it was like 12 or something.
I don't know. I guess it's worked.
It worked
some places.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, anyway, so that's
that is Six String Samurai.
Six String Samurai. I hope you go out and check it out, whether that be on YouTube or purchasing it with your hard-earned dollars. But regardless, check us out on at www.lunchtimemoviecritics.com.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have another episode soon. What is that going to be?
Oh boy, it's my turn. I get to choose this time. All right. So I'm not sure if this is a movie classic or what, but my mother and I stumbled upon this movie one evening, and so we watched it together and laughed. It's filmed in 1944 and stars the one and only Cary Grant, and it is called Once Upon a Time. Not to be confused with the million other titles.
Yeah.
There are so many other titles called Once Upon a Time, but this one's filmed in 1944.
This was the first.
Yeah, this is absolutely the first. I'm pretty sure they stole that line from somewhere.
Maybe.
maybe.
Shrek. It's probably Shrek.
Shrek.
I'm just kidding.
Brothers Grimm. I don't know if they stole it from somewhere else, but the 1944, not 94.
No.
Not 94.
No.
1944. So we are in the throes of World War II, and we get this little gem starring Cary Grant, and there's a caterpillar involved.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Like a real caterpillar? Don't ruin it for me.
Oh,
Don't ruin it for me.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So you can find this one on Amazon Prime. Mom and I actually watched this one on Amazon Prime. I am not sure about any other platforms, but it is available on Amazon. So
Sweet.
check it out, and that's what we'll be talking about next time.
Whenever that may be.
Whenever that may be. But for now, we better get to work.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.